My favorite thing about Bill was his really quick sense of humor.
The way he made me feel when I was around him.
He has positive attitude, a can-do, do anything type person.
Well, I think he was a very personable person.
He was always so funny.
He made me feel special.
He was selfless. He just made you feel comfortable and at ease.
What was your least favorite thing about Bill?
He could have a really sharp tongue when he was mad.
He made me feel completely uncomfortable and inadequate because he was so much smarter than me.
Sometimes his roughhousing would scare me a little bit.
I never knew because he was so sarcastic sometimes if he was telling the truth.
My relationship with Bill in 3 words would be fun, safe, and comfortable.
Sarcastic.
Loving,
Fun.
Heated.
grateful.
Accepting.
He was my son.
Bill really liked baseball. He played baseball growing up. He was a huge fan of the Detroit Tigers. It was his dream to always be able to take Miles and his dad to a game in Detroit. His favorite music was probably alt country and rock, like Bruce Springsteen. Bill was very ambitious. He wanted to get his bachelor's degree. It was always something that he kind of felt less than because he didn't have an education, and really his main goal was just to take care of his family. I mean, me and Miles, but also his mom and dad and sister. The first time I met Bill was my first day at work at Holloman. Besides the lady who was showing me around, he was the first person that I met. And then he continued to walk by my office all day, and so I kind of thought he might be a little weird.
The first time I met Bill was unexpected. I was driving to Houston, not realizing he was at Courtney's house. My grandmother was sick in Houston, so my mom, my sister, my kids, my dogs, my niece were all piled in the car, and we get to Courtney's house, and all the kids have to go to the bathroom, and the dogs jump out of the car, and they have dogs, so it was just chaos. And I walk in, and there I see this guy sitting on the couch with Courtney, and he definitely put his hand on her leg to make sure that I knew that he was him.
I loved him. He was very nice and funny. Courtney brought him to I believe Thanksgiving. He was obviously very in love with her, and he made me very happy because he made her smile and he made her laugh.
I asked him if he had ever been to jail, and then he had. And then I felt bad about it because I thought he'd say no.
Our cruise with Bill was magical because he'd never been on a cruise before, and he was very excited. Because he had never done it, it made it that much more exciting for us. Pirate night, sail away, just hanging out on deck with him. He just seemed like this was his type of thing.
Tell me about our St. Croix trip with Bill.
The one thing I do remember is him jumping off the roof and jumping in the pool. That was cool.
We went to like these rocks, and Bill and Courtney were taking pictures, and Courtney looked like she had a comb over like Donald Trump.
He didn't really do a proposal. We just had talked about it, and we went and got a ring, and when we got back to the apartment, I was like, so are you going to like do something? And he was like, nope, here, and that was it. Our wedding was beautiful. We had lots of people there. It originally started out as a very small ceremony into a huge production, but it was stressful and fun and all the things that a wedding should be.
Probably the getting ready was the most exciting part of her wedding. Watching her put her dress on, seeing Bill so happy.
Bill's friend Grant, who was his best man, he had the ring, and he wanted to play a trick on Bill. So he gave the ring to Hayden and told him to hide it so that when Bill asked for the ring, he said he would say that he didn't know where it was. But Hayden was too much of a rule follower to do it, so I stuck it in my bouquet.
It felt like a normal wedding. It was nice.
What was your experience visiting Bill in the hospital?
Sometimes when we would go, we usually had Miles with us, and so it was a little chaotic, but he was always very optimistic.
How did you feel when you first found out about Bill's cancer?
I was sad, but I was optimistic that, you know, I really didn't think about him dying.
It wasn't until mid-May, that I knew that he was getting worse instead of better. I felt sick for him. I felt sick for Courtney, for Miles, his parents. For myself. I mean, Bill was a son to me. He wasn't just a son-in-law. I always thought of him as my son. He just was a perfect fit for our family.
It was very sad and because you never really think that would happen, and it did. In the back of my mind, even though I knew he was going to die, back of my mind was like, no, maybe he might not die, and that was very, very sad. But also in the back of my mind said he's probably going to die, so don't get your hopes up.
On the way to the funeral it was an odd, we had Andrea with us, so there was 6 of us in the car, and we're all driving to the funeral, and somehow it felt like a little bit of a celebration that we were just talking and laughing so much about him and about our time with him.
I think my favorite memory of him is shortly after we first started dating, and we were going for a run, and he was stretching in the front yard, and for some reason he decided to kick his legs up in the air, and when he did it, he moved right by his car and he kicked the mirror off the side of it, and I didn't really know how he was going to react, so I was holding in my laughter because he could have a temper, but he was actually a pretty good sport about it.
The one thing I will always remember about Bill is how much he loved my children, and he always played with them and threw them in the air and had a good time. Like when he was around, it was a good time.
I remember most was just the laughter that we had when Bill was around, because he was just so silly and fun.
He was so playful, and he really got along with everyone, and he was just like the big brother I never had.
I will just always remember how even when Bill was sick, he still tried really hard to make other people feel good even though he felt terrible.
He was a very nice man, a very, very loving man, and he was just Bill.
He was a good man. He was someone to aspire to be like.
What would you say to Miles about his father?
I would say that he was his last big thing in his life that he wanted to do. That was it. Bill wanted to be a dad, and if I would have married someone else, Miles probably wouldn't be here, because I don't know that I would have had kids. But Bill wanted to be a dad more than anything, so I felt like when he passed that he got to kind of fulfill all of his dreams, because Miles was the biggest dream that he had.